This is a Prophet 5. This is a brand new Prophet 5 from Sequential. This is so brand new, it's actually a prototype, and I'm so lucky to get my hands on it. I got this, and I got some software over here. It's called the Prophet 5 SoundEditor. It's a perfect way to control your hardware synth from your computer and kind of tie them both in together. Let's go have a look. Here's what the user interface looks like for the Prophet 5 sound editor by Soundtower. As you can see when we get inside, this user interface looks identical to the user interface of the actual Prophet 5 synth. The Prophet 5 synth is pretty simple. There's one knob or button per function, so you can kind of navigate pretty quickly through the machine itself and also through the interface here. If you're unfamiliar with sound editors, every function here is actually talking directly to the Prophet 5 itself. So the software in this case is talking to the hardware. So whether it's your cutoff filter, whether it's your resonance, whether it's your release, whether it's the various oscillators, okay, there's 2 oscillators and a noise oscillator here, so 3 total, and they're mixed together, and blah blah blah. So every single thing here, every parameter that you touch here is actually going to affect the synth itself. So for example, if we have a patch here called Funk Bass 2. So I'm going to head over to the device and to the Prophet 5 synth and play that right now. Alright, so you could hear that was a simple bass sound. Now, what we could do, if I'm going to take this cutoff here, and let's see what happens when we move the cutoff on it from the sound editor itself. So as you can see there, that as we move the filter, the filter in the user interface, the filter is also opening up on the hardware itself. So they're talking, in this case, in my setup right now, they're talking via USB, and they can also talk over MIDI, and you just need to set that up in the functions. So that right there is the user interface and how it works, and it works both ways too. So I can take the same cutoff, and now instead of playing with the cutoff here inside the software, I can play with the cutoff on the device itself, on the Prophet 5 itself, and you'll see that these parameters are synced the other way too. Yeah, so it's pretty simple, and every function that we have here works directly with it. Okay, after the voice section, which we were just in of the Prophet 5 sound editor, you can move over to the banks section, and this is where all of the presets sit for the Prophet 5 or Prophet 10, depending on what machine you have. And as you can see here, it's filled with all of the banks. So I'm not sure the exact number. It's probably pretty easy to find out. But we have factory 1 through 5 that we have access to, and they can be found right from the presets on the machine itself. So let's go. We'll start off with the big one. It's a Prophet 5. Okay, so now that I have this patch selected here, I'll go over to the machine itself, the synth itself, and I can audition that for you. So it's a Prophet 5. And then I can toggle over to another one. So let's bounce over here to Hum Along Solo. So you can see here that I've moved from It's Prophet 5 to Hum Along Solo, and it's moved here, so hum along solo is there as well. And when I go over to the synth itself, there should be a brand new patch there. if we go over to pink neon brass, which is right there, we should hear something quite different again. And let's try to find something super unique so we can see a difference here. Let's try the old string machine. All right, so there you have it. That's how the bank section works. Pretty self-explanatory. And then again, you can flip over to the voice section, and you can manipulate all those parameters from here, cut off whatever from there. So that's the bank section, and obviously there's the user section too. So you can fill this up with all your own presets that you create, and that's what I'm going to actually get into you next with, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, then you have your factory, then you have your categories, so you can tag these however you want for easy finding. So and again, some that you wouldn't be able to do on the hardware itself. And then your librarian, here's where this is your library, this is where they all are. And that's about it. Then we can move directly into the next thing that I want to show you. What really brings this into its own are the sound generators. So we're going to start with program genetics here. And so what happens here, this is your program genetics page. So so you start, obviously all of our elements right now are in the factory settings. So factory 1 through 5. I don't think there's any on 5. So let's just start with the factory 1 bank. So you can see here on this side, we'll start with the Prophet 5 as the mommy, as it's called here. And then we're going to find out what basically we're going to marry these together, and they're going to make babies. They're actually going to make kids. Then you have your top offspring here. So let's say we're going to go, it's a Prophet 5 and no whining. Okay, so what we've done, we're actually merging this preset together with this preset, and then when we hit random, they've created these babies here. So you can see there's all these kids here, and these are there's 100 different parameters, like kind of different presets that are a morph between the Prophet 5 and the no whining. So we can click down here, we can go to kid number 27, and now you'll see up here that this patch, which is just a randomly generated bunch of text, becomes one of the new childs. That's again a morph between the Prophet 5 patch and the no whining patch. So we'll go over and play that, see what it sounds like. So again, it's pretty random. So you're hearing it's just a super quiet patch. But again, you can create some really cool textures with that. Now we're going to jump to a new one and see what happens here. So we can go up and let's try lucky number 7, I think is lucky. So let's see, we'll go to number 7. And again, a pretty interesting underlying texture. Let's mix them up now. We're going to go stabby brass, and we're going to go forever keys. So something brassy and something maybe a little piano-esque. And we are going to mix those together. Okay, and you can see here, so there's a mix function, morph, mutate, and random, and there are all different ways to go about it. And here it's kind of mixing up the letters themselves. So let's hear what Fatabi Bouquet sounds like. And then we'll head over here and we'll go to Streba Raise. And we'll audition one more now just to see. How about this one? Forever because. All right. So as you can see there, all of these different sounds are considered children from these two. And if you find some you like, you can move them over to this side. And if we like these ones, they head over here. And then these are here for you for the future. So and then again, we can go over here and let's go to reedy string pad and clavicle, right? And then again, we're going to mix those together. And let's hear. And then we're going to head down here. And I kind of love this kind of deep texture here. And again, we can add this over here. So now, of these, of the mutations that we have here, all of them, we have our top offspring. These are the ones that we like. These can actually be saved as user presets. So they'll be here for you for whatever you need. And then these can actually be added to your library just by hitting Add Library, and then you can assign them to where you need to put them, and which is pretty amazing. Yeah, and if you opt to, you can remove some of these parameters. So you can exclude the program parameters. So let's say you don't want the oscillator A to go to work, then you can actually exclude those, and you can you can exclude vintage, unison, whatever you want. And then as you can see, whatever you select here in the device itself, it'll do. So that's the amplifier envelope, and then there's 4 parameters that are associated with the amp envelope. And then you can remove some of them if you want to, so you can do them individually or as a group here. And last but not least, this is pretty amazing, in this part, you have an XY axis here. So what you can do is you can actually, you'll see this one, the presets oscillator shaping, and yeah, we'll stick with that for right now. And then so oscillator 1 shaping, and then you'll see that it provides you with these different elements here. Wherever things are moved on the XY axis, that'll affect that element. So or those elements, and kind of bring them out. So you can create this super kind of rich and evolving, mutating pieces like this. So there you have it. That's the this is the morphing engine that comes inside the Prophet 5 sound editor. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today to my walkthrough with this sound editor. Got a lot more sound editor videos coming up with every single sequential and DSI device. Also, I'm going to have a lot of walkthroughs and other things in the studio, a lot of hardware, a lot of compressors. I have the Thermonic Culture Vulture up here. I have a couple distressors on the way, a bunch of synths in here. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all those things. Check us out on YouTube, and certainly on Instagram, Accessed with Justin James, and wherever else you want to come across things, Justin James on Facebook, yeah, and whatnot. So thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, peace.